You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing the lounge, Mocha's Ladies Lounge, that is. Hope everybody been doing well. I know I haven't uploaded. Been dealing with this storm. It's pretty flooded in my area. Fortunately, not directly on my street. I haven't encountered any damage so far, so I want to thank God for protecting my transportation and my home. Other people wasn't as fortunate, so praying that God, restores them, gives them back everything that they have lost, y'all. But it's real out here. Stay prayed up, because Mother Nature ain't playing. These bills ain't paying. Honey, it's just a whole lot going on. So let me get into this right away. Make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like button. You already know I'm going to deliver. So I'm going to go in today's sermon, how marriage is just survival for some cheating husbands, right? And I definitely feel that rings a lot of truth. You have a lot of men out here, and it used to be a point in time where it was just women who married for survival. It's always been in a woman's nature to want to be protected, to be financially taken care of, to be secured. That's always been the nature of a woman. You marry for protection, you marry for stability, and you marry for security. But we're living in times now in which roles have definitely changed now. You have a lot of these men out here as well who are not just looking to protect and and provide, but they too are also looking to benefit off of their marriages as well. Now, let me start off by saying, is it wrong for a man to want to benefit like a woman wants to seek benefits? Absolutely not. I think to a big degree, everybody marries to a degree because they're seeking security. You get what I'm saying? I don't think a man is marrying a woman just to marry a woman. He's also marrying her because he feels safe with her. He feels secure with her. He feels like he can trust his finances. He can trust his wife's choices if he's in a critical situation in which he cannot think for himself. Men also marry too to make sure that they have a woman in their life who's going to protect them and have their best interest, just as a woman should, just as a woman would expect a man to do. But what becomes the problem is when you have men with the mindset of they look for their wives to pretty much do exactly what they want and how they want it. And it's not because it's in the best interest of the marriage. It's basically because it's in the best interest of him. For example, you have a lot of men out here who marry and have wives and who they don't want any opinion from them. They don't want no suggestion. They don't want no advice. They only need that woman's input is when they need her to borrow money, like a loan. He needs her signature for that. he needs her to step in when he messes up, you know. Like if he, for instance, if he makes a bad investment and he messes up, now he wants the wife to step in and be the cleanup woman, when in actuality he should have came to his wife from the beginning before he made that investment. But in instances like this, you have a lot of men who try to be slick and they leave their wives out of things because they want to be the only ones to benefit from it. So they intentionally, before they initially go into something, they intentionally exclude the wife because they don't want her knowing about the money. They don't want her knowing what he's up to. But as soon as things go left, when things go wrong, hey babe, I need you to look, I need you to step in, I need you to help me out. You know, this man that I went into business with, he took our money and left. I'm gonna need you to go, you know, apply for a loan so I can get back on my feet. It's like they only want their women to step in when they are on a losing end. But when things are on the up and up and things are going good, they do not want their wives nowhere in it. You only step in when, you know, the grits hit the fan, when things go bad. And I kind of feel that vibe with Marceau. I believe he only wants Tisha to step in when he's in need. When it comes down to making a decision, I don't think he trusts her input. When it comes down to him making investments or making choices, if he sees that he's going to be the majority of the benefit, the ones who's going to benefit, I don't think he really wants Tisha in it. I only think he wants her in when something goes wrong. And to be in a marriage like that, it's definitely not a good thing. You don't want to be married to someone who only calls on you when things go bad. But when the money is going good, he won't call you. He won't ask you, hey, I got $50,000, you know, what you think we should do first? I think, you know, we should take half of it and do this and do that. But what do you think? What do you think? What would you like to add that you think would also be a good idea? You have some men, they don't trust their wife, but they depend on their wife. And that is a very, very dangerous thing. When your husband relies on you, but he don't trust you. He don't trust to include you on things. He don't trust to get your opinion on things because he thinks including you is going to give you some type of leverage as to telling him what to do. And you have some men that are just that controlling. They don't want no woman's opinion because they feel like her opinion is going to mean that he's going to have to do things her way. And Marceau gives me that type of vibe. He does not want Tisha involved because he don't want Tisha telling him what to do. When in actuality, she may have advice or knowledge that can very well be beneficial to him. And you have a lot of selfish husbands, they miss out on the blessing. When they don't come to their wife, when they don't trust their wife, when they don't confide in their wife. They only want you to sit down, shut up, don't give an opinion, but co-sign on the signature. Co-sign on these loans. I mean, take your signature and co-sign on the loans. Take your signature and sign off on this paperwork that your name is going to be a part of this business. That way, if the ship sinks, I'm not going down by myself. I can't even imagine how many things that Marceau has Tisha's name on. Okay, I'm sure her name is over so many things, and I bet she had very little say so. And my advice to married women: If you very well have very little input in what your husband does, you should not be putting in your name, your time, your effort, and your energy for things that he does not trust you to be a part of. Then you got men like Martell, you know, who simply married for survival because he knew Mel was a go-getter. He knew Mel strived hard. And you have a lot of men out here, but like I said, it used to be a thing back in the day where the women would pursue men that were hardworking, men who was ambitious. But the tables have turned, y'all. Now men are looking for women just as ambitious, if not more. Now that's not a bad thing if he's driven and he has 8-9 businesses. He wants a woman that wants to have 8-9 businesses, or he loves to work out in the gym, so he wants a woman that takes her fitness just as serious as he does. There's nothing wrong with a man wanting a woman who wants what he wants, who desires what he desires. But I have a problem with a man, for instance, that may have a problem with women being overweight, but yet he's overweight and he doesn't go to the gym. Or he doesn't want to work, he doesn't have a job, but he wants a woman to work and have a job. I have a problem with anybody, and I have a problem with women who do the same thing. I have a problem with, you don't want a man with no kids, but you got 8-9 kids yourself. People have unrealistic expectations. Stop looking for somebody to deliver something to bring to the table that you damn well can't bring yourself. That's just my opinion. You have some men that are intentionally seeking out and pursuing women who got their sugar honey iced tea together. Not all men are threatened by a woman's independence. In fact, for all you women, I'm independent. I don't need no man. I can take care of everything. Let me tell you something. It's very dangerous when you tell a pookie this. And what I mean by a poverty pookie, a man who's already in a struggle, a man who doesn't have much going for himself. Poverty pookies love strong-minded, independent women. Because he feels like the more you want to do, the more you're willing to do, the more you don't mind doing it all, that makes it easier for him. I don't care how independent I am, I would never let a man think I don't need him, okay? I don't need his money. If a man don't give me nothing today, I'm good. Bullshit. Listen, I am not a Power Ranger broad, okay? I'm not a Power Ranger. I need to be provided for. I need to be taken care of. That's with when I'm making money and when I'm not making money. Plus, I would prefer to be in a marriage in which, and that's pretty much how my marriage is now, in which I don't have to work unless I want to. If a man is looking for my paycheck harder than I am, I have a problem with that. I'm from the old school. I'm from the tradition. I'm not knocking other women who don't have a problem with a house husband, a stay-at-home husband. I have a problem with that. I just think no man needs to be home unless it's on his days off and he's been working hard all week. That's when a man should be home. I don't think a man should be home keeping kids, house setting, while his wife, his woman is out there working. But you have some women that are just that insecure. They'd rather a man be home keeping his kids because they feel like if he work, he may end up with a work wife or something like that. You'll be surprised how some of these sisters out here think. They think really, really strange on some levels that does not make sense to the average woman. I don't want no grown man sitting around waiting on me to come home. Okay, asking me how my day went at work. No, you need to be out there working. If we need somebody to keep our kids, I need to work, you need to work, and we pay for childcare, or we pay a relative to keep our children. You do not need to be home to be a house husband. That's just me. Okay, unless something life altering happened. God forbid he end up in a car accident, he paralyzed, he can't work, but he can still be home with the kids, something like that. Other than that, a man that's well able-bodied, in his right mind and good health, he does not just need to be resorting and demoting himself to just being a house husband. I don't do house husbands, but some of these sisters out here move different. But you have men out here who look for women that are go-getters. And if they know you love them just that much, if they know you want so badly to be with them, if they know so badly you want to keep your family and your image together, they're going to capitalize off of that. They're going to use it to their advantage. That's what Martell did. And I love my girl Mel, I do. But I think with Mel, her image played a big deal in why she tolerated a lot from Martell. Wanting to keep the family together. Knowing that you got all these haters that want the worst for you. Preying on your downfall. You know what I mean? I think that's the reason why Mel, to an extent, took a lot off of Martell. You know, she wanted to keep her family together. She did not want people having something on her, people one-upping her, you know. And I think when she realized all of the trauma she was experiencing behind closed doors, she no longer cared what people thought about anymore. She no longer cared about her image. She no longer cared about trying to play the part to make it like her and Martell had it together. Like she says, when she prayed about it, when God told her to go, she went. And that's the best thing you can do. Adhere to the word of God. Don't disregard it. Don't ignore it. When God tells you to remove yourself from a situation, that's exactly what you need to do. And she did that, and God has been blessing her tremendously. Martell, on the other hand, his ship has been sinking more rapidly than the Titanic. You know, it's been a sinking ship for him. Now he has the life he thought he wanted. He has a side chick who he could only afford, you know, to take on Applebee's or Longhorn during lunch hours, because that's when the prices are the most least expensive. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, you have a lot of these men who marry. You have a lot of men that are marrying for survival now. So all you independent women who got your own homes, got your own businesses, got your own cars, got your own stocks and bonds, and all of these things that make you feel significant. And though I'm not knocking your accomplishments, keep in mind it's men out there on the prowl. And guess what? They ain't got to be struggling men. You got like Offset, okay? We know that Cardi is divorcing him again, right? For the 336th time. And it seems like she always wants to divorce him every time she's pregnant. A man can have money and still want to be with another woman who has money. Why? Because it's called survival. So don't think it's only the dusties and the male incels and the pookies. Don't think it's only men in poverty or in the struggle that are looking for successful women. You have successful men looking for successful women too, because you have men who love money, like you have women who love money. It's all about the dollar bills. I'm sure Offset, it was a power move. It was a money move. Especially since they lost one of their members. The Amigos have not really been hitting on nothing since. And this is not to say he does not have success within his own right. But when you have a wife standing in your corner that's just as successful, hey, that is just gravy added to the pork chops. That's a bonus. You feel me? So it ain't just the dusties. You know, it's not just the dusty canes that you have to be cautious of. You have to be cautious of the men who make money, because it's all about power for them. You know, so you have a lot of men marrying out of the obligation of knowing they have women who are also gonna provide, that are also gonna protect, that are also, going to add to the table. And the sad part is, just because these type of men use you for survival, it does not mean that they're going to respect you. One would think that you would think that if a man needs you just as much as you need him, and y'all need each other, that he would respect his vows, respect his marriage, respect what y'all are building together. But in many cases it does the opposite, because he knows he has a wife that is just as hardworking and just as protective of her image as he is. So they know that in many instances, some of these men know that they have wives that are willing to tolerate the disrespect, willing to let him cheat in peace and do what he wants to do. Why? Because she wants to keep that image. And you have a lot of women who try to control these men, right? Hit that like button, by the way, y'all. If you're coming in, hit the likes. Big ups to the mods on deck, my viewers. If you're your first time here, subscribe, join the family. Anything and everything I say in this video is alleged and based off of my own opinion for educational and entertainment purposes only. The worst thing a woman can do is to try to control a man, because you are witnessing him get out of pocket. He's not respecting the marriage at all time of hours. Sneak texting, these funny texts you seeing coming through his phone, these phone alerts, notifications he's getting all time of night. All of this disrespect that's gradually getting out of hand. You want to try to control him. You think yelling at him, cussing him out, calling the women he talking to behind your back, violating on you with, calling these women, cussing them out, going off on them. That's what Cardi B was doing. Cardi B was constantly getting in fights with other women over Offset, getting in chat wars with other females that's so glad and proud to post pictures letting it be known that I'm smashing your husband. Because we know how vindictive these women are. Listen, we have a lot of miserable women out here. So the first thing they're going to try to do is sabotage another woman's happiness. And you know what they're going to do it with? They're going to do it with your weak husband. If you have a man that's weak, that is the first thing that a miserable female is going to try to devour and overpower, is the weakness of your husband. And if he's not a man in God, he has no discipline over his sexual urges, he will be manipulated. And what it is, it gives these unhappy Jezebel spirited women, it gives them it boosts their ego. It gives them a whole sense of happiness to know that they are destroying another woman's nest. This is why it's very important that you are fully aware of what type of man that you're going to marry. And also, don't try to control him. My thing is, allow a man to do what he wants to do. That way you can see what he really is, who he really is. When you try to stop him, why are you giving out your number to these women? Why are you hanging out with these women? No, let him do what he really wants to do. That way you can see him for who he truly is. And when he shows you who he truly is, you have to make a decision. Either you going to stay and let him cheat in peace, so you keep the image of your family together and keep getting embarrassed in these streets, because these women can't wait to take pictures and post it on Instagram, post it on Facebook, and nanny boo boo, yeah, she thinks she got her a prize, she got her a pookie. Her man was to my house last night, eating the groceries and all this carrying on, because women are very nasty and they're very malicious. But trust and believe, karma always comes back on their door. But until then, who wants to go through that? And this is why you have to definitely be sure, is a man marrying you because he loves you, or is he marrying you for survival? Because he needs a place to stay. A lot of women out here got men who do not want them, who got men who aren't even attracted to them. But that man knows her self-esteem is so low, he can live off of her in her apartment and she won't put him out. You got men that are with women they don't love, they don't respect, don't treasure, but they know that you are going to work and help pay them bills. They know that if his car breaks down, he can use your car. They know that no matter where they fail as a man, you're going to step up and make up for his shortcomings. You're going to compensate for that. And don't get me wrong, marriage is teamwork. If somebody falls short, that's where the next person steps in. But you have some men, they don't contribute anything, but yet they want the woman to contribute her time, her energy, her signature, her sex, her body, her spirit, her money. Meanwhile, he can F off and do what he wants to do. All these men ain't marrying for love, ladies. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Hit the like button. They need help like women need help. This economy has really impacted a lot. It has stunted a lot of people's growth. Okay, we know rent is ridiculously high. We know the government is not making sure people get their unemployment, benefits correctly. We are living in some desperate times. So because of that, women have to be even more careful, because you got some women out here who got their stuff together. You got some women with some nice homes, nice cars, nice businesses, money in the bank, very self-sufficient, independent, got it together. And all it takes is for them to fall in love with the man who's strictly seeking women for survival purposes only. And it's dangerous if you bring these men into your life, especially when it took you years to structure yourself to get to this point. It took you years to build yourself. All it takes is for you to allow the wrong pookie to come into your home, to come into your life, and he can dismantle everything that you work so hard to build. Or if you're married to a man and you see that he's steady taking and not giving, he does not trust you, he does not want your advice. You see him messing up, you see where he's going wrong, and the moment you try to suggest something, babe, I got this under control, I know what I'm doing. You can be passive aggressive. It's okay, babe, I understand you concerned. but I got this. He just completely shuts you down, blocks you. Anytime you have anything, any suggestions, he don't want to hear it. Why? Because he thinks you suggesting him is a way of you controlling him. And you have some men that are just that egotistical. They think that if their wife try to help them, no, she's trying to run him. The irony. You have some men who really think this way. Marceau gives me that. And then you have men like Martell. They want you to do all the dirt. They want you to do all the work so they can have time to pass out community dick. They want you to work several jobs. They want you to take care of kids. They want you to do everything that way. They can just do what they want to do. Martell, I noticed during the earlier duration of their marriage, during I think season 2 or 3, Martell was steadily piling more stuff on Mel, knowing Mel already had a lot on her plate. Mel already had businesses. Mel already had all type of different entrepreneurship, goals she was trying to like reach. This dude, her ex, Martell, was getting on her about how she's never home to help with the kids. How she doesn't spend enough time with the kids. You know why? Because he really did not want to take on that role of spending time with the kids. He really wanted to go do what he wanted to do. And as long as Mel was out there hustling with all these businesses and making it happen, that would mean it would require him to do more with the children, require him to do more with other things. You have some men who get an attitude over asking you to keep their own goddamn kids. Marceau does not like his kids. I don't care. Nobody say he don't like his children. You have some men who do not want to take on the role of being a husband or a father. They just don't want to do it. It's a harsh reality that you have a lot of these, these certain caliber men, because I'm not going to say all men have this issue, but you have a certain caliber of men who cannot stand having to do their part, because they want to have the freedom to still be able to survive off of you, but still being able to do what they want to do at their own free will. So if you find yourself, you're in a marriage or in a relationship in which you are pulling the majority of the weight with the kids, with the bills, with other responsibilities, feeding a dog, having to pay somebody else to mow the lawn and he's there. Just know all of this is red flags. He's only with you for survival. Okay? Nothing more, nothing less. So, just thought I would share this portion because it's a lot of women out there who don't know the difference. You find yourself frustrated because you got to ask him to do everything. Every time you come to him, well, can you get the kids? Can you, get this repaired on the house? Can you take the car to the shop? He gets an attitude or he has an excuse with and this is all the time on his days off. You got them kind who work too now. You got the ones who feel like because they work and they help paying the bills that they don't have to do anything. Anytime you come to him, oh, I'm tired, I've been working all day, I feel like that's a woman's job. I've had some men who had the audacity to say that. It's a woman's job to get the kids. It's a woman's job to take care of the children. Using any excuse just to get around to avoid having to do his part as a man. And a lot of this has to do with the women have allowed them to get away with this. Anytime a man can feel that comfortable saying that, it's because you've allowed him to really feel that it's okay for him to feel that way. And not only feel that way, he acts on it by leaving you to do it all. Because it boils down to survival. I'm not here to help you. I'm here to survive. I'm here because I know you will work. I know you're not going to complain. I know you're not going to make me do more than what I need to do. He has an excuse all the time. That's survival. But when you turn around, you see him jumping and breaking his neck to go out with his homeboys. His mama call him. He breaking his neck to get to her. Anybody else outside of you who can get him to make moves right away without the attitude, that is a red flag. You are with a man where that man is with you for survival. You may be with him for love, but he is with you for survival. So, I want to share that, y'all. now it's time for me to get into my coffee chat portion, in which I share my own intake and my perspective based on, you know, things that are going on within the celebrity world, y'all. So let's get into this. You know, we have a couple of things that we need to address. So make sure I get all the way back to this, y'all. And you know, of course, I'm going to be stopping and interjecting, but this is the coffee chat portion. So let's get into this, right? So, a lot of y'all, if y'all are classic women like me, you may remember the group Immature. In case you don't remember who Immature is, or Immature, from back in the day, y'all. From back in the day, because I got to remind some of us, I ain't gonna play all their music. So that's enough. I don't want no copyright strikes, but y'all get my drift. Immature came out with a lot of hits. Now, the one in particular that I wanted us to focus on, this is one of my favorite male groups back in the day. They had some bangers. I liked Feel the Funk, Constantly. They came out with a lot of really, you know, really good songs back then, right? And I remember when they came out with the first single when they had a little Korean boy, but for whatever reason, he was taken out of the group. And they replaced him with Drummer Boy. But that's besides the point, right? So we see here Marcus Houston, who also played on the show Sister Sister, you know, with the twins T and Tamara. He played as Roger. So even after their success from the group Immature, as they got older, they changed their name to IMX. And Romeo always kind of stood out, you know, because, you know, he wore that eye patch. So that was like his signature look, and we know that was really due to an accident that had happened when Brandy threw a book and he missed and got hit in the eye, whatever. But that's another story, right? Anyway, now all of them are grown men, okay? And Mr. Romeo here in question, his wife, or soon-to-be ex-wife, has decided to go viral and blast him. So we're going to let her tell the story, though. And then, you know, I'll be giving you my commentary in and out. Hold on, y'all, because I don't know why this thing been tripping lately with my sounds. Matter of fact, let me see something here. Alright, so it took me a second, but I'm going to go ahead and play the footage. Basically, Romeo from the group that I just showed y'all, Immature has his wife blasting him and basically saying how they went from a soft life to the hard knock life due to him cheating and paying his side chick bills instead of his family.
You're down if you married a childhood celebrity / entertainer and you lived a very comfortable life. You end up having a bunch of babies. Then you randomly tank financially one year because he didn't get paid off of one project. So you end up losing house, car, storage, everything you've ever owned, collected, ever. Then you pack up your family because that's your only option. You move to your home state, launch a business, work 12 to 15-hour days, 6 months pregnant. You end up having your baby, going back to work 4 days postpartum because you had no other choice, all to find out a couple months later that he had been having affairs, paying for their bills, and that's why you tanked financially. So then he leaves, goes back to Los Angeles, and then you say, well, I have no other option but to go back too. And so you pack up your little car and your kids and pray and hope that God provides a house and financial stability.
All right, y'all. So as you can see, she is basically stating that, you know, she ended up having to go back after everything that she had gone through with him. Basically, they had a good life until he started messing up, doing other things with his money. And we do know side chicks are very expensive. It's very complicated taking care of more than one household. Now, why she decided to come on social media and air him and blast him, that is the new generation, y'all. We can say this over and over. Stop telling your business on social media, but that is what people do. I think it's to embarrass him because he does not listen. He does not hear her out. So I guess she figured the best approach is, you know what, I'm going to air his ass out. I'm going to let everybody know how much we have lost due to his actions, due to his poor decisions. And basically that's what has happened. But at the end of the day, ma'am, you made this choice to be with him. I'm sure this is not the first red flag you saw. The fact that you had to uproot your children and y'all lost everything. You had to go hustle and bustle. You know, you're with a man that was once a child star. So this man should have been in a position where he's very well established. And never should have resorted to this. But again, like I told y'all before, when you have a man who lacks discipline and still is constantly seeking female attention, you know, he's going to jeopardize and sabotage his marriage, his well-being. So allegedly, because we haven't heard his side of the story, she's insinuating that due to him cheating and messing around and paying his side chick's bills, it put his family in the hole. If that's the case, sir, you definitely get a major L on that, because there's no way no side chick of yours should be causing you, you know what I'm saying, to lose the stability of your own household. But I beg to differ, so we're going to go ahead to the next story. Now, this here is pertaining to your girl Britney Spears, right? Now, I am a fan of Britney Spears. I really am. But her biggest downfall was when she married Kevin Federline. He was her biggest downfall. You pick up a man that comes from nothing, who's not on your level, this is what happens. Kevin Federline was a backup dancer. Britney Spears was that girl, okay? She was like the white Janet Jackson. Say what you want to say about Britney. The girl could sing, the girl could dance, and she'd been through a lot with her people trying to run her money. They tried to insinuate this girl was crazy, anything to where she wouldn't have any say so over, you know, her future and her finances. But her biggest downfall started with Kevin Federline. One can imagine in the industry it's very hard to find love. So she started finding love from Kevin Federline, which was a backup dancer. I don't know too many singers who didn't get with their backup dancers and it did not work. Jennifer Lopez did it twice. She got with Christopher Judd or Chris Judd, and then the other one, Casper. Both of them were backup dancers. Leave these backup dancers as your backup dancers and leave them way to the back. That's what happened. He came into her life, gave her living hell, ended up getting custody of her boys when she had that meltdown, and he capitalized off of that. And basically, she had been paying this man $40,000 a month. Now, keep in mind, not only she's been paying him $40,000 a month for child support all these years, he has full custody of both of their sons, and he has brainwashed his sons. They don't have nothing to do with Britney. She does not have a good relationship with her sons because of Kevin Federline. So this is why, women, you got to be careful when you get with these men out of desperation, because you never know what kind of hellion you can end up with. Not only that, she did indeed take Kevin Federline from Shar Jackson, so that's part of her karma as well. But I'm gonna let this TikTok blogger explain it, because she's gonna explain it very thoroughly and in a short version of it, and I think it was pretty good and thorough. So I'm going to go ahead and play it so that way y'all can get a general idea, because y'all probably ain't been keeping up with Britney Spears all of these years, but I have, because I'm definitely a fan of hers. Okay, it's doing this again. Let me go here.
You know how attorneys and everybody else was saying it was very obvious Kevin Federline was moving to Hawaii with his sons so that he can collect child support until they're 23? And then it turned out he couldn't do that because the agreement was done in California. Well, looks like he found another solution. Because he moved to Hawaii with his boys and they don't see Britney Spears, he has them 100% of the time and wants to increase child support. If you didn't know, Kevin Federline at the very beginning was getting $20,000 a month. In 2018, he tried to increase the amount to $60,000, but Jamie Spears, who's Britney's father and was her conservator at the time, refused. So instead, he started getting $40,000 a month. And in a few weeks, Sean Preston will turn 18 and Britney will no longer have to pay $20,000 for him. And a source told the Daily Mail that Britney is relieved that Sean is turning 18 on September 14th because she's tired of paying Kevin the insane amount of money he is getting. Britney is happy to help Sean and Jaden. There is nothing she wouldn't do for her sons, but this would go directly to them after they turn 18 instead of to Kevin. And because Kevin Federline has been living off of $40,000 a year, how can he go back to 20? Impossible. And since Britney will be paying for Jaden for the next 2 years, Kevin Federline was like, okay, well, time to increase that child support. And if you're thinking, well, he has them 100% of the time, it should get increased. He is taking care of the boys. I just want to remind you of something. Kevin Federline has 2 kids with Shar Jackson. In fact, he left Shar when she was pregnant with their second child to be with Britney Spears. And Shar Jackson told Howard Stern that she isn't making Kevin pay her alimony or child support because the man had no job and was making no money. But she responded that she's more interested in having him be there in some capacity for their children. And she added that he does contribute money to trust funds he established for their kids, so he is contributing some cash for their futures. I wonder where he was getting some cash. Also, I find it to be so wild that Kevin Federline does not pay child support to Shar Jackson, but will do everything in the world to get child support from Britney Spears. Unfortunately, I'm sure Kevin Federline will probably get it increased, but at least it's just for 2 more years.
Child, listen, this is why. Make sure a man is marrying you for love and not survival. Kevin Federline has been living off my girl Britney for an eternity, and he's getting ready. Preston is going to be turning 18 next month, so he's going to get dropped from 40,000 to 20,000. And the thing about it is, once a person has become accustomed to getting a certain amount of money, and let's play devil's advocate, men have been going through this for years. Men have been paying child support, having to deal with the fact that once they're out of one hole, here comes the baby mama increasing it because now she knows the child support is almost, over. So, we can't get in our feelings as far as that. Men do deserve to get child support as well. But this man has just been flat out greedy. He intentionally, brainwashed her boys. He went so far as to, once he knew the child support was going to end at 18, he tried to move to Hawaii, right? Because I guess Hawaii, child support laws vary in different states. So he called himself Hawaii. I guess Hawaii will let you continue to get child support till that child is 23. Now I know in certain places like Memphis, if that child goes to college, they can get it up until they're 23. So every state varies. He once again is trying to stretch more time. He's trying to buy in more time for Britney to keep paying him. Okay? And the bottom line is, it's going to end. Regardless, let's say if he would have got to Hawaii and got it to the children of 23, it's going to end. Sounds like to me Kevin Federline does not have a plan in motion, and he's panicking. And personally, I know some women who are like this. I know a woman right now. She knows she has 1 year left with her son. And because it's down to 1 year, she has been giving my cousin hell. Because she knows it's almost over. And she's become so codependent on that money. And the thing about it is, when you get used to that money, you get used to that child support. You look up one day and your child is 17, 18. It's over. You didn't think about it when they was newborns. You didn't think about it when they was 7. You didn't think about it when they was 12. And bam, here it is, they 17. Now 18. And it ends. So while you getting that good child support, make good use of it. Stack that bread. Start handling business, because it's going to come back to haunt you, right? So that's what's going on, yo. He's panicking. He's panicking, and he knows he don't have a lot of time left. So let me play this next video from another TikToker, and everybody is so happy that Britney is almost out of the hole, and I'm happy for her too. Let's see what he has to say.
Kevin Federline will lose all child support from Britney Spears in less than 50 days. And can you guess how much K-Fed was receiving each month from his ex? $40,000.
So he's actually not going to lose everything. He's actually, it's going to be a decrease. But after that, he has 2 years. He's going to get $20,000. And then he only has 2 years after that. But I'm going to let this guy explain it too. He's a TikToker as well. And he broke it down pretty good too. So let's hear what he had to say about it.
Time's almost up, Kevin. Britney Spears' eldest son, Sean Preston, turns 18 in less than 2 weeks. Yes, both of Britney's children are Virgos. Which also marks the moment that her child support payments to her shitty-ass ex are cut in half. And fully terminated in just a year. And Britney's reportedly over the moon about it. And I would be too. And I have a strong feeling this is going to be the first time that both Sean and Jaden realize how much of a loser their father really is. And I can't wait. And you honestly won't even believe how much she pays Kevin in child support. In May of 2018, Kevin requested an increase in child support for both of their sons by $40,000. Increasing total payments from $20,000 to $60,000. I don't believe that amount was ever approved by the court, but there was an increase. And that doesn't even account for the extra $15,000 a month Britney pays for their schooling on top of extracurricular activities, bringing the total per month before the unconfirmed increase in 2018 to $35,000 a month. To put that into perspective, that means that for the past 15 years, Britney has been paying a minimum of $420,000 a year to FedEx. 4 times the amount she paid her father to be her conservator. Also an extremely disgusting concept. He thought moving to Hawaii was gonna get him an extra 5 years, and instead, he got jack shit. Sucks to suck.
OMG. Yo, so, definitely, man, big ups to Britney Spears, man. I pray that she perseveres through this. That has to be so gut-wrenching. Mary J. Blige went through it. Nothing is worse than a greedy-ass man, Because you just would think, even though men and women, we created this equal right bull crap, so we can't get in our feelings that men want child support and alimony. But you would just think, from a masculine nature, that a man would not want to put himself in a position in which it has to depend on a woman. But these men today have no shame. They are not embarrassed. They will do anything to get a dollar. So that's why you got to find out, is your man with you for love or survival? Okay? Know the difference. I guarantee you, when y'all break up and things go left, you're going to find out if it was really love or if it was really survival. So, baby, we're going to keep Britney in our prayers and pray that, she gets the justice that she deserves, because it's sad. Kevin Federline not only is been living off of Britney money, you do know Kevin Federline is remarried. He does have a whole nother wife. Yes, he does. I will show you. Let me show you the wife who's also living off of Britney Spears money as well. So this is his wife, y'all. It's his wife. I think she plays tennis or something like that. Her name is Victoria Prince. Yes, but this is his wife. Britney Spears is paying their mortgage. Britney Spears is paying for the 2 new kids he had from his wife. Britney Spears' money is taking care of Federline's future. But if he's smart, he better get a job. He better start a business. He better do something else, because it's almost over. And look at her smiling like, oh yes, we living our best life off of Britney's money. Women is hell. They can know what a man that took another woman through and will still marry them. He's put on weight, y'all. He looks terrible. He looks a hot ass mess. He's not attractive at all. I mean, he never was no ugly guy, but he just he really looks, he got that Pookie syndrome very heavy. But yeah, y'all, that's Kevin Federline and his wife, honey, with their children. He can make some babies. He can't make no money, but he can make some babies, honey. Yeah, it's almost over. He ain't got a lot of time. He don't have a lot of time, y'all. These men, hell, they will move on quicker than roll back Walmart prices, right? So, child, going to the next thing in our little coffee chat segment, since this thing is acting stupid as hell. We're going to talk about your girl Cardi B. Of course, Cardi B, you know, I've already pretty much discussed, you know, earlier that she's divorcing Offset again, you know, despite being pregnant with child number 3. And I really don't have the energy to say a whole lot about this couple other than, I mean, a man is only as faithful as his options. Offset being a star, being a celebrity, and the fact that it's a lot of women out here who don't like Cardi B, they will intentionally try Offset. And Offset has been taking the bait, and he's been caught multiple times cheating on Cardi. And nevertheless, she's been sticking by him, standing by him. And, you know, it finally got to a breaking point. And what she realized, I keep telling y'all, babies don't keep a man. Success don't keep people together. Money don't keep people together. But I'm going to let this dude named Nino Brown, he's pretty funny the way he, you know, breaks it down. You know what I mean? I'm going to let him break it down to a science for us. So let's get into this.
Let me tell you something. Cardi B just filed for divorce from Offset, and she's seeking custody of the kids and alimony from their marriage. Rule number 1 when you got a family as a man: never let outsiders think they can break up your family. I don't care how good your side dish is, it should never take the course of the main meal. Offset done got caught creeping, cheating, and all kind of other shit on Cardi B in private, public, online, and offline. He done been caught at least 20 times this year alone with different women. Just a year ago, allegedly, he had a woman in the house where he and Cardi B and his family called home. But now Cardi B done had it. She filed for divorce this morning with an attorney. Cardi B allegedly say the divorce is not about Offset cheating. The divorce is about the couple growing apart, and she been feeling like this for a while now. She finally tired of looking stupid in the street and stupid in the goddamn industry. Cause Offset for the streets. Offset probably been tired of her goddamn ass. Cause I don't know what man could put up with Cardi B mouth. She loud as hell. She annoying as hell. She be doing too much. She say she don't cook and she don't clean. But goddamn it, you gotta give Offset back his ring. I personally believe that Offset chose Cardi B because it was a good business decision. They made money together. But he got over the money. I believe Offset ain't never want her. He never liked her because she was doing too much. See, he a calm, low-key dude, and she was in the way of his peace. And see, a man don't settle where he find beauty or BBL or money with a woman. He settle where he find peace. A woman gotta be your peace. A baby don't change no man, and a ring don't stop no hoe. Y'all be thinking these celebrity relationships be happy because they got a little money and a little fame. But most of these people be miserable, unhappy, and they be the most unhappy, miserable relationships in the U.S. You don't know how many times Cardi B cried in her mansion, or how many times she was crying in her Rolls Royce or her Maybach or whatever car she got.
Facts, I agree. You can never ever be deceived by the image that a lot of these celebrities be putting out. I agree.
The worst relationship you could have is one where both of y'all are famous, because the whole world watching, plotting, and judging. The side pieces looking to gain fame off your name and destroying a powerful rich family gonna put them in the limelight. But I feel sorry for them kids, because in the end nobody wins when the family feuds. Offset gonna end up paying Cardi B millions of dollars in alimony and child support, and he probably ain't finna see them kids for a long time over women that he ain't even dealing with no more. Because once you get caught, you don't even want to deal with the women that got you in court, battling for custody, battling for your money, Was it worth it, Offset? Now my question for you men out there that be fantasizing over these celebrities and all these pretty women and all you women out here fantasizing over these celebrity men. If Offset got caught cheating on a famous singer that made millions of dollars, everybody know her name, everybody know Cardi B. He was cheating on her with a random chick that get food stamps and probably get child support from her baby daddy. That say a lot about a man's needs and wants of what they thought they want. Y'all comment below and let me know how y'all feel about this situation. Cause y'all know over the years Cardi B been saying she gonna file for divorce. She done left them, they done dropped videos on each other, done did that. And everybody fall out, but the problem is with celebrities, they don't know how to keep their problems private so they can work it out and fix it, and nobody ever knew they were going through a situation. That's the problem. But y'all comment below and let me know how y'all feel about this. Y'all like this.
And he's right. Big ups to Nino Brown. Like I said, he's a little animated, but he be, he tells it how it is. And that's truth. I mean, it's facts. Just because a woman looks a certain way, that don't mean she ain't a piece of work. You got some women out here that are very beautiful, very stunning, but they're a piece of work. They loud, they ratchet. And I think it's just in a woman's nature, we automatically empathize with the woman. But you have some women out here, they're a lot to deal with. You got some female Martells, you got some female Marceaus. I would just always notice with Cardi and Offset, they would always be doing the most. The way she be on red carpet with her leg up on him and all of that, the more you got to keep doing the most in the public eye, it really speaks volumes with the insecurity within your marriage, within your relationship, where you have to constantly keep forcing this image that we are happy, this is my husband, this is my man, nobody can get him. After a while, the real you, because only you internally got to deal with this man behind closed doors. No matter how much you put up in front of the cameras, in front of the fans, in front of the groupies, you have to deal with this person's real, true character and true nature. And it comes a point in which you can no longer keep overlooking it, and I think that is what has happened. Cardi B tried, and this is a note to women: babies do not keep a man. 3 babies later, and yet still, it's not enough to make Cardi B convince Offset to be a husband. Babies don't make a man be a father, and it doesn't make him become a husband. No more than a ring doesn't make a thought becomes a wife. If it's not in a person to want to be a husband or to want to be a wife, it's just not there. It does not matter if you involve other accessories like children, the house, the Bentley, the cars. This ain't the first time Cardi B has been distraught and upset about Offset disrespecting her. But kudos to her. Sometimes we got to spin a block a couple of times to find out it's just not going to work. And she has come to that realization. And big ups to that. I commend women who are not worried about what the world gonna say, what the world gonna think. My happiness matters to me. I cannot pretend that I'm happy with this man. So let's get into a couple other people made some valid points about Offset and Cardi B's relationship, and I thought they had some significant points. I'm gonna let this lady speak on one perspective.
So here's the thing that a lot of people are not understanding, and I'm going to try to watch my words because I don't want Cardi to think I'm saying anything negative about her, especially considering the fact that I knew her before the fame, her and her sister. Here's the thing about Offset. He's not attracted to Cardi, and I'm not only talking about her looks. Personality wise, character wise, they don't really have much in common, especially from what I know of the previous woman that he has been with. A lot of men cheat, sure, for numerous reasons. There's men who are very happy in their marriage, very happy in their relationships, and they still cheat just because they want something new. In this case is different. Do you guys see how frequently he does it, and how every time he does it is a girl from his past? Because Offset yearns for something he's visually attracted to. At this point, if you have a brain, it's obvious that he stayed with Cardi because Cardi is in a better position than he is. There is no more Migos. So,
like I said, survival. That's the key word, ladies. Not love, survival.
once Migos ended, pretty much so did Offset. So basically, once Bodak Yellow dropped, once Cardi had that hit single, he decided to take her serious so that he can have that to fall back on. If you notice, we only hear about Offset when we hear about Cardi. If he wasn't with Cardi, he would have vanished a long time ago. Takeoff would be more relevant than him in death, to be honest. But I know some of you are going to disagree, and I'm trying to hold back from other things that I know, but he's not, he's in it for, he's in his relationship for survival, basically. And Cardi helps him live the lifestyle he was living before. Without Cardi, there's no way anybody can sit here and think he would still be living that same lifestyle. He's in it just for the lifestyle, but he also, as a man, he also needs, and honestly, like, before Cardi, Offset never dated Hispanic women like that. All his baby mothers are pretty black girls, and Cardi is just not that. And like I said, I'm very happy for Cardi. She was a sweetheart before she became famous. Honestly, most of the beef she's in with females, she really did not start it. Cardi's not a hater. I never knew her to be a hater. I never knew her to be a troublemaker. But it's just that this marriage is just not genuine on Offset's end. It's genuine on Cardi's end. Mm-hmm. Offset basically is just using her. And for anybody who says, oh, but he'll have 3 kids by, yeah, there's men who have no fame and will have kids with a woman to have a place to stay. So he's having kids with her to stay in a type of A-list type of celebrity category. There's a lot of men who would stay with women for years and they're not attracted to them or anything. Cardi B is just not Offset's type. When he cheat on other women, yes, but it wouldn't be as like every female he cheats on Cardi with, he's out in public with them on a date after being caught so many times. You think he wasn't cheating with that last girl because she's pregnant? So coincidentally, you and all your previous, I don't want to call them B words or HOESs, but you and the previous girls that you dealt with coincidentally always end up in the same vicinity, in the same hangout spot, same, because y'all just coincident. One of my exes cheated on me with a pregnant girl. That means nothing. But I see a lot of y'all trying to figure it out. Why this? Why? He's not attracted to her. He's not into her like that. And I don't know why the babies keep coming or whatever. If Cardi wasn't so successful, if she did not have more money than him, they would either would have never been together, or the relationship would have lasted a year, if that. He's with her because she's more successful, just to be honest.
This is true. Like I said, this makes my point about survival. You know, it doesn't mean Offset does not have his own success within his own right. He doesn't make his own money, but his fame with Amigos has diminished significantly, especially after they lost Takeoff. So him being with Cardi, and I believe you have a lot of even wealthy men that are with wealthy women, because it's that power. It's about that power clout, and it's still about survival. Men like Jay-Z, they don't want women that are below the tax bracket, because women that are below the tax bracket are going to cost them, are going to take them for everything they have. Why? Because they don't have what he has. Sometimes it's imperative that you get somebody on your level, or you get somebody who has more than you, because if they have less, they have nothing to lose taken from you. So this is a significant point. Like I said, it's about survival. Even if a man got money and his own wealth and success, it's still about survival. This lady here also made a significant point I want to play.
Oh, I don't think Cardi B is using her divorce as a publicity stunt. I think that Cardi B, like any other woman, saw her husband out in public last night with a woman who was very pregnant that he was not supposed to be around, while she was sitting at home very pregnant, clearly taking care of their children by herself. Any one of us would have made that phone call this morning. Cardi, like so many women, is caught up in how it was in the beginning and how he was in the beginning and how he was there for me in the beginning, not recognizing that that's what counterfeits do. They charm you in the beginning to get access to you, just to bring you into their house of horrors. You know what I mean? Just to bring you in and show you and to do you exactly how they knew they were going to do you. He knew he could not be faithful to her in this marriage, but he wanted what he wanted, so he was going to act how he needed to act to get you. And
this is survival.
That's how you have to recognize. That's the difference between a nice man and a good man. A nice man, Jeffrey Dahmer was nice, you know, before he got you in his house, you know. And a lot of women look for men who have these demonic qualities to be foaming at the mouth, or as soon as you get there to be cursing at you. No, they're often very charming.
Exactly. I don't know why women haven't figured out, oh, he's such a nice guy. Well, of course he's going to be a nice guy in the beginning. That's his way of baiting you.
Very charming to get access to you. Most men know I got to be very nice to her to be able to do her how I want to do her, to get her in the spot I need her in. And I think Cardi B is having a hard time reconciling that her husband is a counterfeit. He might be a nice man, but he's not a good man. And she does not owe him any loyalty when he has betrayed her over and over. So many women, because a man was there for you in the beginning of something, you think you're supposed to ride it out until the wheels fall off. Love is reciprocal.
I totally agree. Too many women getting a nice guy mixed up with the good guy. Martell is nice, but is he a good guy? No, he's not. He knows how to sit there and talk real nice and charming and all of that, but underneath, he's a straight demon. Now, next, I thought this would be interesting to share with y'all because, of course, you know, Evelyn Lozada's daughter is expecting from the game, right? And I always felt that was kind of strange that Evelyn Lozada's daughter, Shanice, would choose to get pregnant from the game. To me, she appeared like she had her head on, a little smarter than her mother, and although she's a very beautiful girl, it just goes to show she's, you know, her looks don't go in alignment with her mindset. To me, the game is a washed up rapper. I witnessed how he treated his wife on the reality show, you know, that they had way back in the day, how aloof he was, how cold he was towards her. You know, I just didn't like how he treated, you know, the mother of his child, you know, and you could tell it was very cringing to watch, because no matter how much she tried to, you know, on the show put up this united front, like she was a strong woman, but you could tell it was really breaking her, you know, because the game was just very aloof and very cold. Here it is, years down the line, you know, I did not know, like all of you are going to find out, that there's way more to this link up than I could ever imagine. And I always kind of felt like something was strange with the game hooking up with Shanice. Well, I'm going to let this lady here break it down for you. And it's going to be very interesting. Again, all of this is alleged, and y'all hit the like button.
Ada's daughter is shaking, and she's going to be shaking even deeper when she realizes what she has now gotten herself really into. So I did a video on Evelyn Lozada recently because Evelyn Lozada was trying to come for Jackie Christie, trying to make some accusations that she was into some snostitution on her wedding anniversary, and I thought that was very messy, and I cussed her out. Well, Evelyn has so much tea spilling everywhere, I had to do a video. Her daughter is about to have a baby with the game. I found out today why that is the messiest situation in the world. When I tell y'all, let's talk about it. So back in the day, the game was engaged to this lady. Since 2014 to 2012, he was engaged to Tiffany Cambridge. Now, these two met because she was his PO, and they are like some kind of therapist or something when he was locked up, and they ended up getting together, getting engaged, and having all these kids. Now, he already had a son named Harlem, but when he got with this lady, they had a reality show called Marrying the Game. And that was a, reality show. I remember them going through their wedding in real time. She would be getting an attitude because he wasn't trying to help with the details. But he was, at the time, showing himself to be a family man and excited to marry her. Y'all, tell me why this lady used to be friends with Evelyn Lozada. When Evelyn Lozada had a baby shower in 2014, she's touching her stomach. This is Tiffany and Evelyn. So that means we were such close friends, such private friends. You were touching my belly at the baby shower? Mind you, this is Diddy's second baby mama, the one he had his daughter Chance with when he had a baby on Kim the last time. This is that lady. So on the other side is Tiffany, shows how close they are. Clearly, her daughter was at that baby shower. So around 2014, this is the time where the game and old girl had just broken up. It had been 2 years since they broken up because they broke up in 2012. But if that's your good Judy, you know about her man. You know about her ex-fiance, her baby dad. So that's like one of my close friends. I'm telling her about my man, right? And her daughter goes down the line 10 years later and has a baby with my man. That would be nuts. Here's another picture of Shani, Tiffany, and Evelyn. And this is getting very much waiting to exhale. This does not look like a Hollywood friendship. This looks like a real girl, I call you when I'm going through something type of friendship. And for Shani to be all kikied up with this lady, it shows that they was like three-way call, come over girl, I got something to tell you friends. I mean, the pictures tell it all. They all look like a close-knit group of friends. And what's interesting about Tiffany and the Game's relationship is it ended in domestic violence. When Tiffany and the Game broke up, and see, he's talking about it after 2015, so he definitely probably was still, hurt. It was fresh, and he's in there talking about his long-term relationship with her and how it ended in infidelity. He was a dog with issues. Well, allegedly at that time, the Jasmine brand in different outlets was saying that Tiffany was saying she was getting beat, that he knocked her in her eye socket or something like that. She posted pictures like this. He's telling TMZ it's not true. That lady was posting Bible verses about he has to defend himself to the world, but there's no need for you to have to validate or justify you. It's giving, you're telling the world you're not hitting me and I know you're knocking me in the eye. So Evelyn Lozada, you know this lady deeply, so you know her real business, so you know how her relationship was going. You know that her baby daddy was abusive to her, and you let her go have a baby with your daughter. They started going on dates in 2023. When I say if I was Evelyn as the mother, I would have shut this down. It would have never made it to a baby in 2024. I would have shut this completely down. But what it's giving is he started taking her out, going on dates with her, and she got pregnant immediately. Because she looks like she's about to pop now. So you got pregnant around December 2023. Fast. He never even claimed you. And you see that the Game is the kind of man to claim a woman. When he got mad and he was into it with Tiffany Cambridge, he started posting pictures of his old baby mama, Harlem's mom. Baby mama, no drama, every N-word meet one of these. Antagonizing her. This is what you're about to let your daughter be put up with? The Game just went on that auntie show, I heard, and they said they had to remind him that she was even pregnant. Do you think that he's about to treat your baby like he treats Kelly Love? Because I don't think so. He might be one of those dads that needs to see the baby, and once I see it, I'm connected. But baby, it's not looking good for your daughter, Evelyn. Why would you throw her to the wolves like that? What is your opinion on this? Is this a grown lady who knew what she was getting into? Is this a plot? A sneaky, dirty plot on Evelyn like, hey, she's sleeping with her man, get with her man? Are you throwing your grown daughter who's having her first baby with a man that already has plenty of kids to the wolves? She's not getting no ring. Is she even getting any respect? Is she even going to get posted? She might get posted, barely. So we'll see what happens, Evelyn Lozada. We'll see what kind of mom are you. Evelyn.
So I'm going to pump the brakes here. Shout out to the Vibe magazine, Jasmine brand. Big ups to her as well. Appreciate all the information, y'all. Definitely some significant points here. However, I will say this much. I don't think that Evelyn would have been able to pretty much tell her daughter anything. Because Shanice is a grown woman. You know what I mean? And it is a slap in the face, because you got to realize Tiffany, which is the Game's baby mama, she's been friends with Evelyn, so she's been around Evelyn's daughter. That's like, for instance, you know, if you've been building a friendship with someone for years and they have a daughter, and here it is 10 years down the line, your friend's daughter is now a grown woman and she's dating your ex-husband or one of your children's father, and you remember this child when she was knee high, you know, when you used to come around and be with her mother. And that's basically what happened. Unfortunately, Evelyn is not able to have any control over her daughter's decisions. Shanice is 30 years old. The Game is 44 years old. So Shanice knew very well what she was doing. She's been around her mother. She's been around her mother's friends. And who's to say Evelyn didn't say something to her about it? Or because of Evelyn's character from the past, we know that Evelyn will get down with other people's man. She happily didn't have a problem with letting Tammy know that she had been with her ex-husband. So, you know, the apple does not fall too far from the tree. And now she's pregnant and they just started dating. So I get, hell, did he smash the same night after he paid for her meal? Obviously. Shanice may have an honest like her mother, may have all the looks and the body but don't have the brain. For one, the Game is way much older than her. Not only that, he already has multiple children. Won't be the first baby mama, and the Game is a very difficult man to be with. He still has this gangster mentality in which, you know, he doesn't think he has to be told anything. So his mindset, I hope Shanice knows what she's getting herself into, and it's too late for that. She has a child on the way now. So my thing is, when y'all have this baby shower, I'm sure Evelyn's going to be there because that's her mother. But is the Game's ex-girlfriend going to be there? Because I know he was never married to the mother of his child. That's going to be a hell of a baby shower, to know that your friend's baby daddy is coming to your daughter baby shower because he's the father. I mean, this is a hot ass mess. I could only imagine how Tiffany feels. I could only imagine, you know. I could only imagine my daughter got little girlfriends and stuff that been coming around standing at my house since she been in middle school, only for them to end up, you know, with my baby daddy or, you know, ex-husband or something like that. I've never been married. I don't have, you know, baby daddy. I mean, I've never been divorced. I'm married, but I've never been divorced, and I don't have outside baby daddies. So I can only imagine, you know, the slap in the face. But really, it's not Evelyn's fault as much as I don't like her, and I would love to blame her because she is plays a significant part in why Shanice has the mindset she has, because she's seen her mama do it. So who is Evelyn to tell Shanice, don't be messing with somebody else's husband, don't be messing with somebody else's man? She done did it. You get what I'm saying? So I get what everybody's saying, but really Evelyn don't have no control over that, and her daughter is grown, you know what I mean? So she's 30. She made the decision to have a child from a 44-year-old man who has a child from one of her mother's best friends. But we all know karma is definitely gonna make its way, and I hope she's ready to deal with that because she's a beautiful girl. She could have had any man she wanted. Why she chose to get the washed up rapper The Game, who's always played games the majority of his life. I remember he got sued $7 million for sexual assaulting a girl on a reality show he did back in the day called The Game. He just has a lot going on. So I don't see how anybody would be willing to take him serious. This is Shanice the singer. Oh, I love her dearly. I don't want nobody mixing her up. I'm talking about Shanice, Evelyn's daughter. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful girl, but you could look in the face and tell she's not all the way there. You know, she's a fry short of a Happy Meal. You know, the mall is open, but ain't nobody shopping. Only time will tell y'all how this pans out. But you know, that's enough of my coffee chat. I kept y'all long enough. This ran a little longer than usual because you got to realize, you know, I have not uploaded, so I had a lot to catch up upon. So I hope everybody continues to have a safe week. It's still raining here. The storm has flooded out a lot of people, and we've been spared so far by the grace of God. We pray that continues. Also, the kids are out of school, so honey, it's just a mess here. But nevertheless, you know, keep us prayed up. For the rest of you who have been impacted by the storm, again, I pray that God restores whatever you have lost, and those who haven't been impacted, I pray that God continues to keep you safe. Hit that like button. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all take care. It's your Diva in Knowledge, Lady Mocha, and until next time, y'all take care. See you soon.